Shall I compare thee to a winter's snow? Okay, so this poem isn't exactly that poem, but we do have another sonnet from William Shakespeare. Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we are here for another poetry discussion. This video will appear in two separate playlists here on the channel. Number one being the poetry discussion playlist, now approaching 600 videos strong, and number two being the Reading in a Winter Wonderland videos exploring the themes of winter, ice, snow, the cold, isolation, death, all of that good stuff in December of 2024. And so Sonnet 97 will fall into that bunch. We will have a reading of the poem, a reading of a semi sort of loose translation of the poem, and then we will break down the poem as it stands. The poem reads as such: How like a winter hath my absence been from thee, the pleasure of a fleeting year. What freezings have I left, what dark days seen, what old December's barrenness everywhere. And yet this time removed was summer's time, the teeming autumn big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burthen of the prime, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit, for summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away, the very birds are mute, or if they sing, 'tis so dull a cheer, that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. Sort of a loose translation of this. How like a winter my absence has been from you, the pleasure of the fleeting year. What freezing have I felt, what dark days seen. December's barrenness everywhere appears, and yet this time apart was summer's prime, the fertile autumn rich with its increase, bearing the playful burden of springtime, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Yet the abundant yield seemed to me but hopeful orphans' fatherless fruit, for summer and its pleasures wait on thee, and you away, the very birds are mute, or if they sing with so dull a cheer, that leaves grow pale, dreading winter's near. So not really a translation as much as just smoothing out some of the archaic language there. So one of the things that we can always do when we're talking about a sonnet is a sonnet has an A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G rhyme scheme when we're talking about the sonnets written by William Shakespeare. And in the same way that the rhyme scheme is broken down, so too is a little bit of thematic talking, or what it is that the poem is getting around to. So you can break the poems down, 4 lines here, 4 lines there, 4 lines next, and then the closing couplet, and you get a little bit of a different idea for, hopefully that's not too abrasive, for what the poem is doing, what the poem is saying, where the poem is going, because we are able to break it down into what are called quatrains and a final couplet. So these first 4 lines: How like a winter hath my absence been from thee, the pleasure of the fleeting year. What freezings have I felt, what dark days seen, what old December's barrenness everywhere. We are saying that everything has been like winter. It's been cold, it's been desolate, it's been isolation, it has been uniquely sad. That's kind of what the winter is, especially for Shakespeare writing from England. I don't know what winter is like in England, but I know that it's basically drab all the year round, right? So winter must be especially bad. So this first 4 lines is talking about how bad the winter has just been because we have been apart. And then the second 4 lines there: and yet this time removed was summer's time, the teeming autumn big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burthen of prime, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. So if the first four lines are saying how bad the winter was, the second four lines are saying, actually, it wasn't winter, it was summer. It was summer, maybe even fall. These times are very different than winter. These are times of excess. These are times of life. These are times teeming with food, teeming with warmth, all of these things. So our speaker is saying, hey, I just suffered through a winter, but it was summer all around me. And then we go back to that opening line, how like a winter hath my absence been. And basically what we're saying is that the absence is what has caused this faux winter. So what is the absence from? What old December's barrenness everywhere? We have all of this talking here in the first 8 lines about how everything was horrible, even though for everybody else they were having a summer. I was suffering through another winter. Well, why? Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit. For summer and his pleasure wait on thee, and thou away, the very birds are mute. So the first 4 lines say how bad the winter was. The second 4 lines say, psych, it wasn't winter, it was summer. And the third 4 lines, the third quatrain of this poem is saying, it was a fake winter because of you, baby. I was not feeling good for absence of thee, Thee. You were the one who was, your absence was what made this summer so unbearable, as if it had been a winter. That is what is going on in this poem. And we end this quatrain, and thou away, the very birds are mute. So it's not just me. When you're away, when my baby goes away, everyone suffers. When my baby goes away, the laws of nature themselves are suspended. When my baby goes away, no one has a good time. Not even the stinking birds have a good time, which leads us right in to that final couplet. The final line of the third quatrain, and thou away, the very birds are mute. In the final couplet, or if they sing, 'tis so dull a cheer that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. So, if the birds do sing when my baby is gone, they really aren't into it. And, not being into it, the leaves that the birds are standing around, the birds are in the trees, the leaves that hear them sing say, oh God, is it that late in the year already? These birds are really not feeling it. Is it time for us to fall off? Is it time for winter? Is winter that nearby? The birds are already out of the game. The birds are already mute or singing so hoarse a tune. We'd better get ready for winter. So we have here another poem from Shakespeare that is professing love for someone, and not just the love of the individual, but the love of nature itself for his baby. That is all I have for this Sonnet 97 from William Shakespeare. If you like or appreciate this sort of thing, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers if you find yourself here by chance but not design. Literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. There's poetry every Monday, including a nearly 600 video playlist on exclusively poetry itself. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.